Hey guys, when you're looking for a weapon light, are you looking for a floodlight or are you looking for a long distance beam light? Well, what would you do if I told you you can get both? Today, we're going to be doing a review on a light that does just that. This is the Olight PLX, so stay tuned. Hey heathens, it's Gun Deity, and this week we are doing a review on a weapon light. This is a very nice system that was just introduced from Olight. This is their Olight PLX. This is a really cool weapon light that is got the option to do both a high beam and a floodlight, which is actually a really cool setting on this guy. And all it takes is a flip of a little switch. This thing is a really cool setup that just was released on the 13th, and it is going live to the public Monday the 19th, January 19th. So you guys will be able to purchase one right away. Full disclosure, Olight did send this out to me for a review. They didn't pay me for a review. They didn't even ask me to give them a positive review. They just asked if I wanted to check out a light and give my honest opinion. And so yes, that's what we're doing today. So we're gonna go ahead and go over this thing from nose to rear and see what you guys think. We're gonna start with the specs here, and then we're gonna get into the performance of this guy. So starting on the front here, of course, you have an all metal frame system here. This is an all metal light system. It's not cheap plastic like you'll see other companies doing. All metal. As you notice, this thing has 3 lights on the front. Kind of gives it a triangular front, but it's actually a squared body. So it's a very nice design, very compact design, because look at it on this RXM, how it lines up with the slide pretty well. This guy is really neat because not only does it have a floodlight feature, but it also has a solid beam. This is a very neat system, and all it takes is the flip of a little switch right here. We'll get into that in more details here in just a moment. This is really cool because it does have that multi-rail system setup on it that Olight's been running for a while. So it's got like a ratcheting system that is built into it. So that way you can have your light in any position that you like on your gun. And it runs multiple different adapters that you can flip one way or the other to make it fit your gun the best possible way. This also has push buttons instead of a toggle switch like the TLRs. Or the TLR-1s. This is a push button system, so it's very easy to activate. And if you want momentary, you just hold it down for a second. It's very neat. And you also have strobe feature. Very nice setup, right? Very nice light system, and it is fully rechargeable with a USB-C input right here. Just flips up USB-C input, which most modern day electronics are running that USB-C platform, which is very nice because you probably already have a bunch of USB-C cords all over your house. Today I got this all tricked out with my Ruger RXM. It is a really nice setup here, and we have it ready to go, and we took it out to the range and did some night shoots with this guy. This is where we're going to get into the performance. We actually took this guy out to the range during the night and got some good night reviews shots of this guy. And I will say I was very impressed. First of all, we're gonna get into the settings of this guy. In the flood setting, it runs a 1200 lumen flood, and that's on the downward toggle of the switch. When you kick that on, it lights up the entire range, and it's very bright, and it's got a decent throw to it. They state that it's about 115 meter throw, which I beamed it on the mountainside. That's about 50 yards at its base, 100 yards at its top from where I stand. And you could actually see everything pretty darn well. Like the top was a little dimmed out, but you could still see if there was a mountain lion sitting up there or not. The cool thing is although it has that flood setting, if you need to see farther away, all you have to do is flip that switch up, and now you go into the solid beam. And with that solid beam, that throw is ridiculously long, and they advertise 900 lumens, but it is 900 lumens focused in a very tight circle. So you can actually get a really long throw. They advertise 300 meters. I will say they are probably pretty close to right on that, because the hillside that I stand at, where I'm standing to the top, is about 100 yards. And this light is so focused that you could easily see anything up on that ridge line where that focused beam is hitting. Now, that being said, with the focused beam, the little bit of flood that is there really is not usable for any clearance of a room or anything like that. It does work, but it's a very dim flood on that one. So if you are using this for home defense, you're probably going to keep it on the flood setting because it lights up an entire room. Now, I did take this back out to the range another day, and I actually compared it to my TLR-1 HL from Streamlight. This is one of my favorite lights. I love them. They run about 1,000 lumens, and they work really well with almost everything that I have. And they're very bright as well, right? Bright. But we compared them side by side, and we beamed that same hillside from about the same position as we did the first time we took this guy out. That's a nice solid beam that is far brighter than the TLRs. Like, this is the TLRs, that's the PLXs. Far brighter. And when we're using the solid beam, the solid focus beam on the PLX is much tighter and much brighter, along with more pronounced than the TLR-1 HL. At a distance, you could definitely see a lot clearer with the PLX. Now, that being said, the TLR-1 HL does have a little bit of a flood on it, so you can actually see a little distance too. And that hotspot kind of blends in with the flood a little bit. While the hotspot on this guy, when you have it in the right setting, the hotspot on this guy is more of a focused beam. As you see there, focused beam on that one, and we have more of a blended beam on that one. Now, that being said, we did try it out against the flood of the PLX, and the flood on this guy is ridiculous. But what I will state is the TLR-1 has a larger flood. It floods at a larger degree of angle, so you can actually see a larger distance away to your peripherals. With the PLX, it's a little bit more focused in, but it's brighter, much brighter, and has a farther throw in comparison to the flood on this guy. Granted, this has a flood and a hot spot, but the flood on this guy is almost as bright as the hot spot on this guy. It is crazy. And this was beaming at about 50 yards, had no problem whatsoever lighting up the range. That being said, when this is running for a decent amount of time, it gets awfully hot, especially around this spot right here, just underneath the light. And it gets hot quickly, a little bit quicker than the TLR-1 gets. The TLR-1 does get hot if you're running it for a decent amount of time, but this one runs a little hotter, a little quicker, and I think it's because that lens is right there up against the body, while this lens is farther away from the body, so it stays cooler a little longer. Now, we did take this back out to the range because it is a metal framed system, so it should handle being dropped, right? What's a duty weapon if you can't drop it? Because chances are you might drop it if it's a duty weapon, right? So we took it out to the range and we dropped it from about chest height. Check it out. Oh, that was right on it. Holy cow. But it is still fully operational. Oh my God. That thing. Well, you know, if you do it once, you might as well do it twice, right? All right. And all it did was mar up the finish just a little bit. And that's it. There's no damage to the actual body. There's no damage to the lenses, and it worked just fine. And now, This thing is also rated at IPX7 waterproof, which means it should be able to hold underwater for about 3 meters for about, what, 30 minutes, I believe it is. So that's great because this thing was filthy when I got it up off the ground. And I personally don't like my guns that filthy. So I grabbed a bottle of water out of the truck and I drenched this thing while it was on. I dropped it on the ground a couple times and it's getting awfully dirty. So, you know, get that nice and cleaned off. We gotta make sure that that stays nice and clean. Oh my God, it's still fully functional. Who knew? No problems whatsoever, which is great because in that same aspect, when this thing is hot, you might want to pour a glass of water or something on it to kind of cool it down, especially if you're running and gunning for a while. Now, we've had this guy for about a week. We've done some testing with it. Not as much as I would like to do. The weather has not been permitting too much going on, but we have been out there quite a few times, beaming this onto the hillside, beaming it at home, doing all kinds of crazy, weird stuff with it. And I have only had to charge this the one time when I first got this. This thing has held a charge really well. So you that are worried that these rechargeable lights are gonna die out really quickly on you, I've had it for about a week, no problems whatsoever. Chances are you're going to charge your light a little more often than a week, but you don't have to. That's what's really cool about this guy. It's still extremely bright, even after a week of not being charged and continuous use. Now, the last concern that a lot of you guys will have is holster compatibility. Every time there's a new light that comes out, it takes forever for holsters to come out with it. Well, that being said, Olight was smart and they reached out to many companies, including Alien Gear and Rounded and Works, and got quite a few holster companies to start making holsters for this guy right out the gate. It's going to be in most of your common guns. I have not checked to see if they make it for the RXM, but the RXM will accept most Glock holsters. So if they make it for the Glock, chances are it'll fit this guy. All right, so my final first thoughts opinion on the Olight PLX is it is a cool weapon light system. It's a very unique system with that switch that allows you to go through with a flood or a high beam. Me personally, I'm probably going to use the flood a lot more than I will the high beam because I'm not a police officer. I'm not chasing perps down the road. I am going to be using this mainly for clearing my house, which the flood works the best for clearing the house because that lights up the entire room. So that's a great option for you. Now, the only negative I have about this light system, the only negative, is how hot it gets right here while you're running it. That is one negative to this guy. I wish that they would build some kind of thermal barrier here or put on some kind of thermal paint to kind of mitigate that heat just a little bit. Granted, it's not that bad because even the TLR-1s will get hot while you're running them. And most holsters, it's not a problem. Plus, this dissipates the heat very quickly. It's already cool to the touch again. So it doesn't take very long for this thing to cool back down. So that's my only negative to it. Not a big deal. Other than that, I really do like the feature settings. I really like those toggle switches. I love the size of it. That size is perfect because it's just big enough for like the Ruger RXM or the Glock 19, the compact pistol size. It might be a little too short if you throw it on a full duty size gun, but it's still going to do everything you need it to and then some. This is actually a great light system. I really do enjoy it. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more testing with it in the future. If we have any issues, we're definitely going to let you guys know of any issues that come up in the future. I don't foresee any issues coming up, but you know, over a year of owning it, the battery life might die down, or the light systems might dim out, or who knows, one of the bulbs might go out. We might need to know how to fix all of that, right? So that's what we'll go into down the road. Maybe at about 1,000 rounds or so, maybe we'll do another review of this guy. Let me know in the comment section if you guys want that. But this is a new light that just came out. They are dropping it to consumer purchases Monday the 19th, which is just around the corner. Matter of fact, it might be the same day I'm dropping this video. We'll have to see. Guys, I'm gonna put a link in the description if you wanna get one of these for yourself. It's definitely a really cool option for you. Definitely something to check out if you ever get a chance. Also, guys, if you haven't checked out the website yet, go check out gundeity.com, where we will have this guy also listed on there too, where you can get one of those for yourself, along with everything else you saw in the video. But guys, this is just my thoughts on the Olight PLX. I think it's a really cool system. Definitely something to check out if you ever get a chance. The Olight PLX. Guys, as always, I'm Gun Deity, and I'll see you heathens for the next one.
I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation. They call me a